The true treasure of Baghdad. Long ago, in Baghdad, there was a king named Mansur. His court was graced by many skilled individuals, and he always cared deeply for his people. One day, he made an announcement. He possessed a priceless jewel, more valuable than any treasure in the world. This jewel would be given to the person who could pass 3 extremely difficult tests. The king declared that whoever possessed this jewel would never face hardships again. The announcement spread through Baghdad, and people eagerly discussed who would dare to take on the challenge. Many were initially tempted by the reward, but as soon as they learned the details of the trials, most withdrew in fear. The challenges were dangerous and nearly impossible to overcome. Ahmed, a humble man from a small village in Baghdad, heard the news and thought to himself, "Perhaps this is my destiny." Though he lived a simple life, his honesty and kindness made him stand out. Believing that if Allah had presented him with this opportunity, there must be wisdom in it, he decided to take on the challenge. Encouraged by his fellow villagers, Ahmed set off for the king's court. The first trial, fear in the dark forest. The first challenge was to pass through a dark and terrifying forest alone at night. The king left Ahmed at the edge of the forest, and as he entered, he heard eerie sounds, as if strange creatures were lurking behind him. He trembled with fear but kept moving forward, calling upon Allah's name. Suddenly, a large shadowy figure appeared before him, approaching menacingly. Ahmed's heart pounded, but he mustered his courage and spoke, "If you are of truth, do not harm me." The moment he uttered these words, the shadow disappeared. Ahmed realized that fear is often just a creation of the mind. The second trial, the lion's den. The next day, Ahmed faced his second challenge. He was taken to a grand fortress where a fierce lion awaited him. The test was to stand before the beast and remain unharmed. As Ahmed stepped inside, the lion roared ferociously, ready to attack. But Ahmed reminded himself that even the lion was a creation of Allah. Instead of running, he slowly approached the beast, speaking to it gently and looking into its eyes with kindness. To everyone's astonishment, the lion's rage faded, and it sat beside Ahmed peacefully. This experience taught him that love and gentleness could conquer even the fiercest challenges. The third trial, the test of wealth. The final challenge was the most difficult of all. The king handed Ahmed a bag of precious coins and ordered him to deliver it to a distant place without speaking to anyone along the way. As Ahmed began his journey, he encountered a starving beggar who pleaded for help. Initially, Ahmed hesitated, thinking he should protect the treasure. But his heart was filled with compassion, and he decided to give the beggar a few coins. The beggar blessed him with prayers, filling Ahmed with peace. Later, a group of bandits surrounded him, demanding his wealth. Ahmed, filled with inner strength, said, "You may take these coins, but know that true treasure lies in the purity of the heart." The bandits were moved by his words and let him go unharmed. Ahmed had learned that honesty and righteousness always prevail. The final challenge, the river crossing. The last test required Ahmed to cross a vast and raging river without any help. The waves were wild, and the current was strong, threatening to pull him under. But he placed his trust in Allah and stepped into the water. To his amazement, the waves seemed to part, clearing a path for him. This taught him that when one's intentions are pure and faith is strong, even nature bends in one's favor. The true reward. After passing all the trials, Ahmed returned to the king's court. The king praised his bravery and sincerity, presenting him with the priceless jewel. But to everyone's surprise, Ahmed refused to accept it. He said, "Your Majesty, the real treasure is not this jewel but the lessons I have learned on this journey. I have discovered the power of love, kindness, and truth. That is the greatest reward." The king was deeply moved by Ahmed's wisdom and declared him a role model for all of Baghdad. His story spread through the city, inspiring generations. Ahmed dedicated his life to helping others, and his legacy of honesty and compassion continued to guide people long after he was gone. His tale teaches us that true success lies not in wealth but in kindness, sincerity, and a pure heart. If you like this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel English Story Sarge for more inspiring tales.